From the PEP Radio Newsroom, these are the stories we are following at this hour. Mexico is expelling 26 high-ranking drug cartel figures to the United States in the latest major deal with President Donald Trump's administration. A person familiar with the matter told the Associated Press on Tuesday. The cartel leaders and other prominent figures were being flown from Mexico to the United States on Tuesday, the person said. They spoke on the condition of anonymity because they were not authorized to discuss the operation that was still ongoing. Mexico's Attorney General's office and Security Ministry confirmed the transfers, which were carried out after a promise from the U.S. Justice Department that U.S. officials would not seek the death penalty in any of the cases. The expelled cartel figures include leaders of a group aligned with the notorious cartel CJNG. Those being handed over to U.S. custody include Abigail Gonzalez Valencia, the brother-in-law of CJNG leader Nemesio Ruben El Mencho Osuguera Cervantes, a top target of the U.S. government. He was arrested in February 2015 in Puerto Vallarta, Jalisco, and had been fighting extradition to the United States since then. Alongside his two brothers, Valencia led Los Quines, which financed the founding and growth of the CJNG, one of the most powerful and dangerous cartels in Mexico. CJNG traffics hundreds of tons of cocaine, methamphetamine, and fentanyl into the United States and other countries and is known for extreme violence, murders, torture, and corruption. Another person, Roberto Salazar, is accused of participating in the 2008 killing of a Los Angeles County Sheriff's deputy. Person familiar with the matter told the Associated Press on Tuesday. The Trump administration made dismantling dangerous drug cartels a key priority, designating CJNG and 7 other Latin American organized crime groups foreign terrorist organizations. The transfers come days before 25% tariffs on Mexican imports are to take effect. Late last month, Trump spoke with Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum and agreed to put off threatened 30% tariffs for another 90 days to allow for negotiations. Sheinbaum has shown a willingness to cooperate more on security than her predecessor, specifically being more aggressive in pursuit of Mexico's cartels, but she has drawn a clear line when it comes to Mexico's sovereignty, rejecting suggestions by Trump and others of intervention by the U.S. military. An appeals court has sided with the Trump administration in the fight over DOGE access. A federal appeals court says a lower court was wrong to block billionaire Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency from accessing people's private data at the Education Department, the Treasury Department, and the Office of Personnel Management. The Fourth U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals said in a 2-1 decision Tuesday that the lower court's preliminary injunction ruling miscalculated the likelihood that the plaintiff's lawsuit would succeed. The appeals court had already put the block on hold, so Tuesday's ruling will not have any practical effect. Led by the American Federation of Teachers, the plaintiffs alleged the Trump administration violated federal privacy law when it gave DOGE access to systems with personal information on tens of millions of Americans without their consent. The appeals court said the privacy law at issue does not prohibit sharing information with those whose jobs give them good reason to access it. And finally, on Tuesday, the Pennsylvania Senate returned to session and introduced a new plan to fund SEPTA and avoid major service cuts at the end of this month. Republican State Senator Joe Picozzi of Northeast Philadelphia introduced an amendment that would fund mass transit for the next 2 years. Picozzi's amendment was approved in the state Senate by a 27-22 vote. The funding would be drawn from the Pennsylvania Transit Trust Fund. It also includes safety and accountability provisions. Picozzi called the bill a bridge that will fund SEPTA for the next 2 years. This proposal is the only viable plan to keep service running past the August deadline, Picozzi said. By enacting this legislation, we give ourselves the breathing room to design a better, safer, more accountable transit system for the next generation and the 21st century. The spokesperson for Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro slammed Picozzi's proposal. While Governor Shapiro appreciates Senate Republicans finally acknowledging the need to fund mass transit systems across the Commonwealth, this is clearly not a serious long-term proposal that can pass both chambers. Shapiro's spokesperson said in a statement, "It's time to get back to the table and keep working at it." That's the news at this hour. Pennsylvania Equality Project and PEP Radio are taking part in Crawford Gives Days through Friday night. It is the only major fundraising event we are holding for the entire year. For details, visit paequality.com. If you're watching our videos on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to our channel. Up next, we have the Meadville area weather forecast here on PEP Radio.